also, just because the guy who did the speaking parts is Chris Sarandon, who he played the villain in The Princess Bride.
Yes,
he's a cool actor.
Oh.
And and fair play to him.
I'm trying to put a face to that.
Yeah, that's where Susan Sarandon gets her surname from him. She was married to him.
Oh, okay.
So fair play to him. But it's weird because it's not like they're like, we need a star. Kids love Chris Sarandon.
The 90s, man. What are they like?
Why is that not a real thing?
Well, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think it was big. I think it was quite a minor show.
Oh, right.
I'd love to see it. I don't know what you watch.
Honestly, I was thinking that when I was watching the film. I was like,
easily.
I mean, it's a musical, so
it literally.
Why has it not had a stage run?
Easily interprets into more than any other thing. The Lion King, Aladdin, like that. Fair enough, they did translate well, but when they first pitched to you, kind of like, well, how are they going to do that? This one, I can see it already.
Yeah, very much so.
You can see the sets. The sets are simple because it's stop motion.
No, well, I mean, it'll be theatrical, so all you need is Halloween Town.
Yeah.
And then
Christmas
a big old switcheroo.
Yeah.
Maybe at the beginning of Act 2.
Christmas Town. It's there. It's all there. It could be so easily done. But then I was like, but how would they do Jack and stuff like that? And then I saw that and I was like, that's how you do it.
With makeup.
With makeup and stuff like that.
Puppet.
It's theatre.
Yeah,
so
but I mean,
with standard theatre procedure.
I know, but
I'll tell you what you do, right? Live action Nightmare Before Christmas, yeah? Get Christian Bale and get him to lose loads of weight. Get him to look skeletal.
Can he sing?
I don't think so.
Especially not at that weight.
Where's McGee? That would be the...
He's literally got... He's got no breath left.
Get Jackman in.
Yeah, Jackman can do the singing.
For Great Showman.
Oh yeah, for P.T. Barnum's a wonderful man.
Christian Bale as Jack Skellington and Hugh Jackman as Sally.
Oh, so I'm into it.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be up for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's funny because I played Wolverine, but now I'm playing this.
I mean, he's going to get cancelled even harder for taking away a role from a female. So.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like it just wouldn't face him.
No, it'd be like, I mean, if you can get away with being portraying history's greatest monster as a romantic lead, it should be fine.
History's greatest monster. It is. Crikey.
It doesn't. It's completely off brand. If it make
I know.
It's so bizarre.
He just seems like such a cheerful guy, though, Hugh Jackman. I imagine he probably reads a biography of P.T. Barnum where they talk about all the horrible stuff he did. He's probably just misunderstood though, isn't he? I love to sing,
It's not that. I feel like they just. I feel like maybe Hugh Jackman is one of these adults who are part of that generation where he doesn't know how to use the internet. So he's just. So when they said to him have you do you know much about P.T. Barnum? The producers are like, do you know much about him or? He's getting pitched that, and he's just like, "No, not really, mate." And they're just like, "Good."
I don't really have.
Yeah. So, how much do you use your own email, or do you have your PA do it? It's like, nah, mate, I don't know how to use one of those computer things.
Well,
they're just like, perfect. Here's the contract.
Debbie does all the emailing. Debbie or Denise?
Debbie, you do the emails, didn't you? Do you know what? Someone does the emails. I don't really know.
It's not me, mate. Can't work the keyboards.
He invented the circus. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay.
I like to think of myself as a bit of a showman.
Oh, wait. He's the original showman then, isn't he? Oh,
Blimey.
Fantastic. Great character. I'll get into that. Family man. Yeah. And he basically helped all these freaks. Oh, he sounds brilliant.
Speaking of freaks, we're doing The Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, nice segue there.
I'll give that. I'll tell you what. I'll give that. I'm sort of borderline between A- or B+. I would have, if you'd have said we're doing a Tim Burton film, I'd have given you A+.
God, I missed out.
Although, of course, if it's a Tim Burton film, is the real debate. Oh, it's not a debate, but it's A. It's a conversation topic.
But yeah, we're doing The Nightmare Before Christmas. This being part of our, I guess, Halloween edition of Two Real Podcasts. I'm with Sam Mills once again, and welcome, Joe.
Hi, long time listener, first time caller.
So we're talking about the Nightmare Before Christmas, and we're going to settle the debate whether it's a Halloween film or if it's a Christmas film. Starting out with the hard topics.
It's not. It's neither.
I don't want to hear both, boys.
It's neither. No, it's not both. It's neither.
Neither.
No, it's an in between. It's a film you watch specifically. You don't watch it on Halloween. You don't watch it on Christmas. You watch it in the period between.
No, well, you do.
So you're saying it's a November film?
It's a November film.
It's a Thanksgiving if you're in America film, I guess.
It's a November film.
Maybe.
Yes. Or maybe a Thanksgiving movie, yeah.
Because I guess...
Not necessarily.
I mean, I guess, he's not really grateful for what he has at the beginning. And then by the end, he kind of is. So, makes sense.
Give him thanks for what he really has, and that's Halloween Town. I'd say a Halloween film, though, because the majority of it takes place in a town that's literally called Halloween.
I'm going to go Halloween because it's got that... spooky fun. I heard someone say about Halloween, like
spooky fun.
It's like the film Halloween, right?
Yeah.
Like the original was like great. It's not actually that fun, which isn't really very Halloween. Although I will often watch it on Halloween.
That's a very fair point.
Thank you. Whereas I feel this is, it's spookier than I remember it being as a kid, and like it's sort of, I don't know, when you're a kid, everything's new, right? So I just sort of accepted like, oh, this is a film. Like having like a little snake come out of behind a bed and sort of start singing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It didn't strike me as being as like macabre as it is when I watched it recently.
As a guy who is very much not a horror fan and will not watch a single movie with a ghost in it, I welcome that argument for next Halloween or Halloween coming up where people are like, let's watch scary movies. I'll be like, well, maybe Hocus Pocus. Maybe more of a fun, spooky. Maybe fun, spooky. Because isn't that more Halloween-y, guys, really in the spirit? You might have just saved my Halloween. So
maybe.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, we haven't gone all in on Halloween this year. I mean, this is only the first year where we've had a podcast where we're actually regularly updating.
Yeah.
So next Halloween we'll do the whole month worth.
A month? We'll do a Halloween month.
I feel like we didn't do it this year because we had films that had been waiting to come out.
Yeah.
More new releases than you usually probably would have in October.
Oh, massively,
I think so. Yeah, I think.
So we were trying to do a bit of a catch up.
Yeah.
Whereas next year, I reckon will be.
I do feel
will be Halloween times.
I feel like
awesome.
Halloween. I probably maybe noticed more this year, but even being back, it has been. Halloween has sort of become a almost not a monthly event, but like the build is like being in December. The 1st of December, like Christmas is coming.
Yeah.
The 1st of Halloween is that the amount of memes I've seen in the last few weeks where it's me on the 31st of October. 30th of September. Me October for the thing, and it's like
it was a good meme.
I genuinely.
I don't know my dates.
I genuinely did that though with my Disney Plus login. I changed my profile from The Mandalorian to Jack Skeleton.
Love it.
And then 1st of November, straight back to Mandalorian.
Mine's Stitch. I might do that.
So yeah, I'm very much one of those people who's like, well up for Halloween the whole month, and then. But here's the thing, right?
See if I can find the vampires.
I've never really done anything fun on Halloween, except for once I went to a rave.
That's cool.
That was quite cool.
Alright, so like Halloween night, not necessarily, but like normally around like the weekend of Halloween, something fun will happen.
Yeah, you
I have
get involved.
Yeah,
the last few years I've seen you've gone.
Well, I have a regular go-to costume. Which is like as a kid, it was just my mum. I'd be like, "Oh, I want to go as this Halloween. I want to go as this." And my mum would be like, "I'll make you a monster." Like, and I was like, "Oh, cool, what?" And she was like, "Bin liner and green face paint." Like, yeah, I'm a monster.
Bin liner.
I mean, she's a busy woman. She's a busy woman.
They now sell the bin liner as a costume.
Yeah, because I made it iconic.
But
things my siblings are a lot older than me, right? And so when I was out trick or treating, I'd be with them and like their teenage friends, and so it'd just be like me is like, oh, I'm a monster in a like bin liner. And I remember once my brother's mate coming along with us, and he hadn't dressed up, and so like they just opened the door, and it was like me is like, oh, trick or treat, and there's this 15-year-old smoking just stood next to me in like a tracksuit, like, you alright? But anyway,
Which nowadays is actually a costume in itself.
it is, yeah.
You're a tramp!
A teenager from 15, 20 years ago.
Teenager in the 90s.
Oh, yeah, to be fair, that, yeah.
Probably a big seller down Asda.
Oh, absolutely,
Easily,
yeah.
Teenager in the 90s.
90s is coming back,
There's
right?
nothing more-
Oh yeah,
nothing
that
more
is terrifying.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the 80s has been back since, like, I was about 10.
The more
the
I
80s
watch-
has been back since about 1998, so about 8 years after it ended.
Anytime I watch something like The Goldbergs or something that's very 80s prevalent or Stranger Things, I realise I was raised on the 80s.
Yeah.
I grew up in the 90s, but I was very much all of their references and all the films they're watching. And I'm like, I was basically raised on the 80s. Yeah, pretty much.
So, like, the first sort of channels I had that weren't just terrestrial, VH1 was in that package. So,
Yeah,
like, and
yeah.
not MTV. So, there was, like, until I was about 12, all the
Yeah.
music videos I saw were like Dire Straits Money for Nothing.
Yeah, I think that was very much. That was kind of a bit of a British thing, like, or like middle class British thing. That cable box where you had the clicky buttons.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
We've got cable. There's
Yeah.
more than 5 channels. Balling. No, we were like so poor.
It's I feel like the 90s, especially the early 90s, like from where this film kind of comes from, they had the longest hangover of like
Yeah.
decades where
think it
you
was-
know, like, so like they say like the 1960s lasted for like 14, 15 years. 'Cause you
Okay.
had like a year or two before,
Yeah.
and then a hangover into like the
I-
70s.
I think it was the best decade.
What, the 90s?
80s.
Oh, the 80s?
I generally, if you
For,
think
like,
of
pop
music,
culture.
film,
Oh, yeah,
pop culture, everything like that, it might have been, like, it might have been the best. It might have been the best decade. There's even even on a societal level, there was
Oh,
obviously a lot of
no,
problems.
I mean-
No, there was a lot of problems,
yeah.
but there's the beginnings of a lot of what we're exploring now. It's there. It's like, we said, like, in the 80s and 90s, there was just female leads and stuff like that, and they were all there and they were being pushed. It wasn't. It was just. It was there. Obviously, there was absolutely the opposite. There was always the opposite, because there's always going to be. But I feel like it was in a time where it wasn't being like pushed or anything like that. It was like it was there. It was still present. So I feel like you can even argue that it was up until that point.
No,
the
I
best
tell you what,
one.
though,
But-
you're bloody right, because Ghostbusters was still bloody blokes. Am I right, guys?
Yeah.
Hey?
No,
Hey?
that's not what. But yes.
But
Yeah, bloody was.
But this, you
But it's PC Barnum shit. No.
oh god, sadly I don't like that Ghostbusters, just because it's not very good. But I would love to like it, just
Yeah.
because of the people that are like, oh, they're women, they can't be in Ghostbusters.
It's I
It's
get
just
that. It's
the
ridiculous.
worst film though.
Yeah, it's just like the thing is, I love improv comedy,
Yeah.
but just take after take of it in a film just has gotten so old.
Yeah.
Just like, we just riffed for hours, like, oh, you can tell.
You can tell because it's not a coherent movie. Like, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't always work.
I was actually hoping that
Hemsworth
we
can
could
only carry
review
you so
that
far.
for not the terrible Ghostbusters, but Afterlife. But they seemingly were just like, but a ghost movie before Halloween, ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? So we've ended up, we're going to talk about Nightmare Before Christmas instead.
Excellent.
So yeah, it's a shorter film than I remember actually.
Yeah, it is.
That's
and,
very
like,
short.
I was surprised that. I mean, I remember a few songs like very well. Like, what's this?
Oh mate, I've
Never
all
far
of
from
them.
my head.
I know, not
Yeah.
all of them.
But-
I realised that
Not
when I
all of
watched
them?
it.
What?
No, I remember what's
No,
this.
I
I
was-
remember Jack's song. I know her song, but there was a song. There was
mean,
a
Jack
few,
sings most
I
of
didn't
them.
realise how much sort of like dialogue singing there was. There's a lot of singing throughout.
So here's the thing. So I was just apparently right. The singing, like Jack's singing, is done by Danny Elfman.
Yes,
He wrote, and he wrote the story, wrote the songs.
Yeah.
And I think he sings brilliantly. And I think
He's fantastic.
there's something to it, like, because his performance as the singing voice is so good.
Yeah,
And I do wonder if him writing them sort of helps him bring more sort of emotion to it, right?
yeah.
And it seems weird that they got an actor to do the speaking as well. Like, maybe Danny Elfman just can't act.
No, so they did have him do all of the voice for
Okay.
Jack. But they when it came to the final cut, they thought the singing is great, but apparently his acting was like very subpar,
Oh,
which
okay.
is understandable, seeing as he is a musician.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Primarily.
It's
That's not to say
It's no
musicians can't.
discredit
do that.
against him. No, absolutely. You just
it's just
you
'cause
can't have it all, Elfman.
This is why I found that weird.
It was
Just
very
'cause-
early in his career because it was only the third or fourth film he'd scored.
Right.
So, and then for you to be like, right, you're gonna write the songs. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna sing it as well. It's like that is a lot.
Danny, look, you don't know how to do stop motion animation, all right?
Yeah.
leave it to the guys that know what they're doing. I mean, I just think he must have been really bad because I've realised how little dialogue there is in this film. Really, like I feel like all Jack says is sort of goes like Christmas, hello, oh, not today.
Well, it's very kind of like theatrical, over the top. Again, why it would translate to theatre.
That's what
well.
That's what the script writer said. So. We were watching the movies that made us. Some of the points from that, I'll tell you. So Michael McDowell, who was hired to write the script, who did Beetlejuice. Basically, he just took the money that they gave him to write the script. Didn't really write much of a script, and just blew it all on coke. So. I thought that was quite interesting. They gave him an adapted by credit, which I feel like is a bit of a like, yeah, you were here, but like the script writer who eventually wrote the script, was just like, there's nothing salvageable from it, but we've already paid him, so it's just like we have to give him a credit, but for couldn't really write coked it up his nose on the. I mean, it's a Walt Disney film. I'll get to that bit.
His credit should have just been thorn in our sides.
Yeah. So the Danny Elfman's girlfriend at the time, her name's Caroline Thompson. She was the one who actually salvaged the script.
Oh wow!
But when you do look back on the behind the scenes for it, she was like, I'm listening to Danny Elfman's music every day.
Yeah.
But she's just like, what? But like, there's not really too much to say in between because they're all actually said in all of the information and like all of kind of changes in character, like revelation is all in the music.
Yeah. That's very true. Yeah. That's another reason I found it weird, just like finding that out. Because to be fair, they fit really well together, the voices, but also just because the guy who did the speaking parts is Chris Sarandon, who he played the villain in The Princess Bride.
Yes,
he's a cool actor.
Oh,
and and fair play to him.
Put a face to that.
Yeah, that's where like Susan Sarandon gets her surname from him. She was married to him.
Oh, okay.
So fair play to him. But like it's weird because it's not like they were like, we need a star. Kids love Chris Sarandon.
The 90s, man. What are they like? Disney rejected Tim Burton's pitch like in the 80s.
Yeah,
so,
when he was like an animator.
Yeah, when he was an animator there, and then obviously critical acclaim for films that he did in between,
and big money as well.
Yeah,
Batman was like huge.
Of
course it was.
So they were like he wanted to work with them again, Disney, because he kind of came to an end, like after Edward Scissorhands, and then he was on to Batman. And then he was just like, right, I'm going to... he didn't necessarily pitch it again, because they owned the rights to it, I think. And he was trying to get it back. But, he then went to Disney to make another film, to see if he could work with them again. And they said, why don't we do Nightmare Before Christmas? Which was pretty interesting.
And he wrote it as like a poem first, right?
I don't know if it was a poem. I feel it was just notes, and it was more like character design. It was more like drawings and like an aesthetic. The quote unquote Tim Burton aesthetic, which is actually kind of scarily similar to a short film from Sweden that's called The Sandman.
Oh yeah,
that was made about 10 years earlier.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a bit of a...
and you're like, well, this is he's definitely seen it. Do you know what I mean? There's absolutely no way that two people have come to the same conclusion / art style independently. Do you know what I mean? And
so it wasn't even like, sorry, I had misunderstood. It wasn't even like it was an artistic style. It was this person. There's only one film that really showed the style at all, and then there was Nightmare Before Christmas. There wasn't like an entire art style that surrounded it existing.
I mean, it's pretty like similar influences. Like he's
maybe.
I mean, I'm no expert on German Impressionism, And I know normally people would say that and then turn out to be an expert. I'm not. I mean, I've written like 2 books on it. No, but like he always talks about that. Like, is like a big influence on him, and maybe it's similar.
With this, it was also a stop motion animation film.
I see.
So it's like,
come on, mate.
Come on.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
obviously,
I
you
can't
see
really
his
comment.
designs, and you're just like, that is still creative.
Yeah.
You know? So
I mean, I like to rib on Tim Burton a bit because, as I'm sure everyone who's ever met him has. No, but
like he gets joy out of it. Like,
yeah.
I feel like he's that kind of person.
Self-deprecation.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's into
if
it.
you were nice to him, if you met him, he'd be disgusted.
He'd
never be your
hate
friend.
it.
No.
He revels in it. It's his sustenance.
Yeah. But he was working on Batman Returns, so he didn't direct this. Also, like you said before, Joe, I feel like he was like, I'm not directing a stop motion animation film.
Yeah.
So it was passed over to a friend of his, Henry Selick, who is also animator at Disney.
And he went on to direct James and the Giant Peach, which I've not seen in years, but I remember loving as a kid.
Yeah, same.
That's one I need to go back to. That was one of my favourite movies growing up. I used to just watch it on loop.
Yeah, awesome film. I completely forgot about it right up until a friend of mine told an anecdote about meeting Joanna Lumley, and that's what he went for. Like, I loved you in James and the Giant Peach, your favourite of mine as a kid. And apparently her reaction was like, oh, thanks, it was a lot of fun. And then she sort of went, oh, and like took his hand, sort of when she said it, like, oh, you took her hand, and said, oh dear, you must have some cocoa, your hands are freezing.
She's so lovely. She's so lovely.
Which I mean, I know it sounds like Joanna Lumley fan fiction, but that's really what happens.
Oh, that's so sweet.
But yeah, so like, and he went on to do Coraline, which is, I remember, I saw it years ago, but that's also pretty cool, like pretty weird.
I've never seen that.
Yeah,
I've heard it's a bit wiggy. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Sort of like,
there's some creepy aspects
people get
to
replaced with like buttons for eyes.
Yeah, like I've seen enough clips and stuff of it now, references, but I still have no idea what the movie's really about. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, one of them. Remember thinking it was good. Don't remember it that well.
Yeah.
But like, yes, he's a talented guy, and that's I understand why it's called Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas.
I mean, he was a bit annoyed about that.
Oh, Tim Burton.
Henry said it. Tim Burton was absolutely not disgusted by Disney putting his name on it, you know, for more gravitas.
The idea that, I'm disgusted they're using my name to sell this film. Oh no, Tim, it's fine. We can take it off. I
mean, it's there now. It's there.
Speaking of people who are disgusted by even being associated with this film, is for years it wasn't even marketed as by Walt Disney.
I honestly had no idea it was a Disney film. So like when you said we were watching Nightmare Before Christmas, I remember being like, oh, fuck, I would have to rent it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I realised this film's great. Like, you know, I'd happily buy it, but I always want to watch it for free.
Yeah.
And then he just went on. Then I just checked on Just Watch, and it was like it's on Disney Plus. And I was because I remember thinking,
sorry. Right up until you've watched it. In the last few days is when you realised it was Disney.
That's because up until I say recently, but probably within the last 8 to 10 years, it was actually just released under Touchstone, which is Disney's like
one of their many
subsidiaries. You know, and
I think that's probably the only other company that Disney
it was
owned,
basically because they didn't know how to market the film and who they were marketing it to. So they didn't know whether it was for kids,
right?
They didn't know whether it was just for teenagers, or even if it was like an adult animation. At the time, they were just completely bamboozled by what to do with the film. Even once they set them a deadline and the film was done, they were just like, right, do we put Walt Disney Productions at the beginning of this? Well, they went with Touchstone, and then after its VHS and DVD sales, and over the increasing popularity really over the decades, is the only time that they were like, right, we'll switch it straight up to Disney, and act as if nothing happened, which is exactly what Disney do all the time. Like,
oh, Jack Skellington, like he's he's always been part of the Mickey Mouse gang.
Yeah, exactly. We've always had a float with Jack Skellington, Sally, and all the other famous characters,
and the rest.
And the rest.
I honestly, I remember thinking, like, I'm amazed that this is Disney, because I would assume that Halloween Town was like one of the big attractions at Disney World.
Yeah.
Is it?
No. I don't think there is. They really do.
That seems mental.
Yeah, there is no Halloween theming at Disney. There's no real. There's not like a Nightmare Before Christmas ride, or
That's
I
mad.
feel like they're missing a trick in not converting Disney World or Disneyland into their version of like the Halloween Fright Nights they do at Universal,
Right? Yeah.
which Universal been doing for years.
Every
and
year, just turn it into Halloween Town.
I don't know why they haven't done that.
Although, I mean,
Also, copyright me. If they're gonna go, if they're gonna go for the idea, I want
Disney World in association with Liam Reed Industries.
with Two Reels podcast.
Goth Mickey Mouse walking around. That kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I don't know why they haven't just. They've got a product there that that they just roll it out sometimes.
Yeah.
They're like, look, we
Hey,
did this.
Hey, goth teenagers, we got you.
Yeah, we got you. But they don't do much with it.
No, that's mad.
Yeah.
That's where you put the show on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, the
You
thing
have a
is,
stage show, build a theatre, build a stage show. You go Disneyland for it. I'd go Disneyland just to see the show.
Would you?
And then I'm
That's
in Disneyland.
very expensive. Like, go for the rides, you fool.
No, but you're in Disneyland already, so then you just do the rides after.
All right.
theatre is the ultimate ride.
You know it.
So, I mean, then I'm a big horror fan as opposed to you both, and I would appreciate just a spooky bit of the park that's just there all year round. You know.
That'd be nice.
Also, I imagine. Well, I'm just thinking if there was a Halloween town, they'd probably have like this is Halloween, like the sort of parade that happens at the start.
Yeah.
That would be terrifying in real life, and
Yep.
I'm there for it.
Yeah.
That would be brilliant.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
kids would be so confused
Yeah.
that I think they'd enjoy it.
Yeah. Or
I think
cry
most
and
little- I
have
feel
a
like most little
pivotal
kids-
experience.
Yeah.
Most little kids are just the little girl in Ant-Man. They just want the weird little freaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely.
Kids of a certain age,
Yeah.
between 6 and 8.
Yeah, my niece would bloody love it. My
Six-
younger
6
niece.
and 8. Oh, how old is she?
Well, she's 10.
6 and 10.
But she's she loves a bit of macabre.
Yeah.
Apparently, like
Macabre.
my dad was saying he was taking her around like the British Museum or one of the museums, one of the big ones, And
I mean, they're all very different, and I feel like you should know, but we'll carry on.
all right, Sam, I'm an ignorant man. So anyway, he's taking her around a museum, and she didn't really know much about history. And then it got to like the Egyptian exhibit, and she was like, "Oh yeah, mummies." Went into massive details about mummification. anything a bit gruesome. She was like, "Oh, I remember that from school."
Yeah, I feel like that is around the time where
They start introducing that.
you just your inquisitiveness
Yeah.
or your
think-
want for like more gruesome knowledge. I
Yeah.
guess. Like,
Mine was Greeks.
Yeah.
Greek mythology and stuff. Yeah, I was just drawn to it. And around that age, kind of, Greeks and dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's
or mummification.
Mummification.
And there's loads of that in the opening scene with the parade at Halloween Town.
Is there a mummy?
Yeah,
There
there
should
is,
be. Oh, okay,
I think
cool.
there's I think there's two. There's
Yeah.
one of the kids who's a mummy but also a cyclops
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah,
because
yeah.
he's all wrapped up in bandages, just got one eye.
Yeah.
Feel like he got double duty. He got like double curse.
Well-
And there's just like the other guy who's with him is just a child, and he's just like he just looks ill. So it's just like
I'm human.
Honestly,
I was shunned for my
That's a-
sickly pallor.
That's an accurate description.
Yeah,
You're just
no.
an ill child.
yeah.
I'd love it if like the character is credited as just like sickly child.
I feel like in the opening scene, I didn't really appreciate like the visual storytelling that's going on. I love the opening with the narration. It's got a bit of a. Obviously, I'm an adult now, but it's got quite cheesy like child film tendencies, but they're not like bad. I feel like it's really good.
That's the thing. I when I was watching it now, I was just
Yeah.
like, this is mental. Like, I mean, I wasn't like offended by it. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't feel like I was watching a kids' film.
No.
Just the very opening, I was like, it felt more like you're in for this is a lovely story, and
Yeah.
just sort of like, look at these horrific people having fun. Like, I love like the Wolfman, right?
Yeah.
Just looks scary.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Yeah.
Pops up every so often. You're just like, oh, Jesus.
Sorry about the detail of it. It's a flannel shirt that's ripped. But I don't know why. I don't know what it
I've
is.
said my favourite as a,
Lumberjack.
only from I've obviously always noticed them, but my favourite from this watch this time round. It always hits different. This movie. Famous time, vampires with the little umbrellas.
Yeah, that was
and,
a lot
and
of
their
fun.
little their expedition singing. It was just like, oh, it's brilliant. And then at the end, they're ice skating. I'm just every time I see them, it puts a smile on my face. Big like weird shaped vampires with tiny umbrellas. That'll help them. It's like brilliant.
I've noticed when he gives out an award, like as Jack sort of sulks off because he's having too much fun. He's like most blood drained, and he just goes vampire, and one of them takes the award. So like I guess he's like
Out of
he's
the three of
vampire.
them.
He's the alpha.
Yeah, and I guess maybe one of them is like credited as like vampire.
Yeah, as I say, it hits different every time. I just remember like there's not necessarily things I didn't notice. Although one thing I noticed this time that I've never ever noticed or just never clocked, Jack's the bit that here that I thought was like an extension of Jack's lapels is a bow tie.
Is it?
So
It is, yeah.
the lapels are actually quite flat and go follow around and stuff. The big exaggerated bit under his neck is a bow tie.
Ooh.
And literally, I don't know why, but it's really irrelevant. But this time around, I was like, oh, wait, that's a bow tie. But yeah, I love that. I love his opening song. My opening song is one of my favourite songs. I love What's This, obviously.
Yeah.
And This Is Halloween. But that when he goes into his opening song, it's brilliant. It's so good. Such a good song.
Yeah, it's excellent. Once like Danny, I know I've already said it, but I can't like go on enough about how like brilliant I think Danny Elfman is. In the vocal performances.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
It's just as a musician, like
Oh yeah,
he's
musical
an
genius.
all-round musician, like singer, composer, everything like that.
If
He's
you,
just brilliant. But yeah, his singing is incredible.
If you strip away the actual lyrics, not the lyrics, but like the if you break it down a little bit more, he says in the movies that made us episode, he was like, I wanted to. This sounds like quite cheesy when I say it out loud, but it was just like I had to sing from the heart because he was just like, well, I was in a band, you know, and I literally had everything, you know, and then he was just like, I don't want to do this anymore, but he knows he should be more like grateful for it. You know?
Yeah,
it's that kind of.
It's that sort of thing I can just relate to really well.
That's
You
amazing.
know?
When you just have everything and
Oh
it's
god,
not
yeah.
enough.
But
Even that
He's very
concept-
much kind of like a more likable version of Zack Snyder's Superman. You know, in Batman Superman, where he's just saving loads of people, and the whole time he's sort of like, "Oh, this is boring."
wish I could be out.
I've done this now.
Yeah.
God.
God, they're all so grateful.
When was the last time aliens invaded? Jesus.
So I was at one time and I killed them.
I love that. Yeah, I love that song. I love the lyrics of it, but the journey of it is brilliant. It's just kind of like, especially like I was trying to put my mind because obviously as a kid, I was seeing it as a kid, so it wasn't a surprise when I was seeing it. I was trying to put my mind back to like if you see it for the first time, you've got this the way it opens really theatrical, like this is Halloween, all that thing like that, and then suddenly goes into this song about like the iconic hero is just like just depressed because it's like it's the same old thing, and it's like. Oh, it's so good. It's such a good transition.
Bit of creative freedom in it. Although, or maybe all it really needs is the love of a good Frankenwoman.
A woman who is literally stitched together. It's not the fact that the scientist in it. I can't remember his
Apparently, he gets called like Finkelstein once,
Finkelstein,
but then he's credited as like mad scientist.
Yeah.
They call it
the one thing that we kind of. I just glossed over as a kid is that he literally just literally like leaves Sally after she like poisons him with deadly nightshade for like the 1000th time.
Yeah,
stop leaving it in the cupboard for her to pick it up every time. You know, he literally leaves it on the same place on the shelf every time. I'm just like, this is the definition of madness.
And every time he goes, this is the last time you'll poison me.
Yeah, exactly.
And then literally the next night,
what's that you're cooking for me? Oh, lovely.
He gets poisoned like he gets poisoned like 4 times in the film. How has he not got like brain damage? Speaking of brains, he takes half of his brain and just makes a new one.
Yeah.
He literally is just like, Sally's poisoned me enough. I'm just gonna make a fitter one.
I think like.
It is at the end where he just made like a him.
Also, it's half of his brain, so it's basically like
him.
Yeah, but like I guess not as bright. I guess
Well,
fair play, intelligent man.
Kind of incest.
Look,
It's not even open,
as
that
soon
can of
as soon. I mean, look, we can open it briefly.
Right, okay.
Well,
Peek in and see what the
I'll
worms
take one
are
worm
doing.
out. I'll take one worm out. Ooh.
Oh no.
The worm's growing. It's so basically, right. As soon as he turned up, I was like, ooh, like it just. I forgot about him. He turns up. It's very sort of like, there's like a dad vibe and like a husband vibe.
Yeah. No, but I think this is the problem. Is it wasn't until I watched it this time as well, and he made his companion. The sweet part of that part, there is a sweet part to that story. He just wants a companion. He just wants a life companion. Yeah. That's all he wants. He doesn't. I mean, I know he's not nice to Sally, but he doesn't abuse her.
No.
Yeah,
even when he's.
I think I just judge him because I find him like both visually and his voice like scary.
Yeah. But I feel like it would be proper like on brand Tim Burton as well. Like, oh, this creature that you just disgusted by, maybe he just wants company.
I mean, he did lock her up.
It's like that.
Yeah.
No, but
does keep her under lock and key.
At the beginning, he locks her up because he says she's not ready for the real world, for the excitement. He's worried if she goes out into it, it's going to be too much stimulant. He literally says it at the beginning. He says there's too much stimulant if you're not ready for it.
I don't know, man.
Still don't think you should be doing it.
Sounds a bit like to me. It sounds a bit like gaslighting. # cancel Sam.
I'm not justifying it. I'm not condoning his action. I'm just saying there is a. He's not just this evil.
No. There is elements to it, but like just that final shot of him being pushed around by like his like clone.
He takes half his brain out, right, and he goes, "Think of the conversations we will have." And I was just like, "You took away half your brain. It's not going to be that stimulating, you know."
I mean, me with a fully functioning brain is like not the best conversation in this.
Just to take half of it away.
But Sally,
you're a mad scientist, man.
With his full brain, he couldn't work out if he keeps putting the nightshade back in the same place.
I know, right? Yeah. I bet
maybe just someone who needs to talk through things, like a genius in a film. You know, like how like someone will be like, I can't work out, this is crazy. Wait a minute, like maybe he'd just be like, oh yeah, I just don't know why she keeps on poisoning me with the nightshade. I mean, I always put it back in the. No, it does remind me of a joke from Futurama where like I think it's Bender or Zoidberg keeps convincing Amy to like let him go when they've like tied him up for some reason, and she's like, "Fool me 8 times, shame on you. Like fool me 9 times, shame on me."
Yeah.
So Sally, right? I forgot. She's great.
Yeah. But also they were struggling to find something for her to do in the script. Like, the script writer, her name is Caroline Thompson, who was Danny Elfman's girlfriend at the time. She was just like Sally in the actual original script by Cokie McCokerson. Basically, it didn't really have her doing anything like at all. And I was just like, and there's still quite a lot of that. You know? So
like even
it's a short film.
A lot of poisoning, a lot of pining.
Her story is very. It's not shoehorned. That's the wrong word.
No.
But it's very much
I don't know
like
what it is.
It's a bit of an Indiana Jones factor. I feel like it would have got played out the same way without her in it. Because she doesn't convince Jack that anything. He realises himself.
I mean, she has premonition, doesn't she?
And she tries to warn
which
him.
I forgot about.
She tries to warn him and he dismisses it, but he comes to everything else on his own.
Yeah, and I guess she tries and fails to save Santa.
And he's even happy at the end before he realises he's in love with her. So he would have still been happy at the end.
That is bang on. She doesn't really contribute anything other than like, I just really like her. She's just like really...
Yeah.
I guess
which is, to be honest, that's fine in itself.
Yeah.
That's all right.
My type is just a woman stitched together from various other women, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. Hashtag cancel Joe.
And that was the last time. So this welcome to the podcast with Sam and Liam.
I got to redo the intro. More work.
But I think what I didn't know was it's Catherine O'Hara, who is the mum from Home Alone and the mum from Schitt's Creek.
Moira.
I love Moira, and like she's amazing.
And she's the zombie girl. Again, I was trying to put a face up. Amazing.
She's Sally, and so, but the thing is, every time Sally was on screen, I kept thinking of like having that, like when she's like, "Baby,
baby." Just Moira. You always see now.
And
also, she plays what do you call it? One of the the 3 little kids. She is the witch.
Oh, okay. She's that too.
Yeah, I can't remember what they're called.
Oh, they've
like
something. They're called something as a collective as well.
Yeah.
But
a lot of fun, those guys. Their song about kidnapping Santa is excellent.
It's just this whole like this is where it kind of is a bit kiddie and stuff like that. But I don't know if maybe it's I don't know. So there'll be a message behind that. But it's just the way he's like he hires them.
Yeah.
knowing they work for Boogie, and he's like, but don't go to Boogie, and they're like, we won't. It's like, and then the whole song is about how we're gonna go to Boogie afterwards. And it's just like it's brilliant. But I love them. I love the way they take Santa.
And
they get them
in the bath that walks. That I remember.
Kind of creepy.
Yeah. But I remember like as a kid being like, oh, I love that, and then saw it like today, loved it as much if not more.
Yeah, I do love that. Anytime we see, when I can't think where I've gone, but I've gone to places and they've got like the bathtubs with the feet. And you're just like, just brings me back to this movie. So I'm trying to think of it. I like it's such a good aesthetic. But yeah, brilliant.
I did sort of realise how annoying I must have been as a little kid watching this, because I did like seeing the songs again. I remembered like especially like This Is Halloween and like their song, singing along as a kid. But I know that like we would have. Mum and Dad would let me like rent films, like the same film multiple times from Blockbuster.
Yeah. That's what you did.
In my mind, when I was a kid, I was like, oh, they're really expensive to buy VHSs, and I'm sure they were at first, but like I'm sure they would have made more financial sense for them to just buy me a copy. And like, I just feel like this, and I know how I was like I wasn't great at memorizing songs anyway. I feel like I would have just been like rambling along, so it would be like
I do that now. So I love these songs. Right. In this movie.
Yeah.
I know about 2 lines out of each song.
Yeah.
But I sing the whole song in my head and sometimes mumble the rest of it. I don't know the whole words, whole thing. I don't know, but I'm still there like, this is Halloween.
Yeah,
this is Halloween.
Okay,
fine. And I'm literally there like, Halloween. Halloween.
Yeah, but like, were you like, like my parents would be in the room and I'd just be there like imagine it gets a bit old after like that.
I can imagine, yeah. But that's what kids is. So.
And that's when you grow up and you get a flat, and then you can literally just do it. And the only one you're annoying is your flatmate. He doesn't really care because he does a podcast with me.
He's busy singing along Monty Python.
Life of Brian.
Life of Brian.
That was sorry. Just that reminds me, like when I was listening to that episode of the podcast, when Harry's like seemed like a bit embarrassed by his choice, and it was like I'm a bit embarrassed, but it's Life of Brian, like a masterpiece. And then you were like, I've chosen They Live, which one of my favourite films, but like proper 80s schlock, like.
But genuinely, I think like maybe 2 of the listeners probably have heard of it.
It
was on Netflix at the time.
That's true. I think it left recently because I remember being like, I watched it recently, being like, oh, because it came up with this is leaving soon. Although to be fair, that film did shape my view on capitalism more than like anything like. Anything more highbrow.
Yeah.
It was like, it's like, they did that.
So I can understand why the crew on The Nightmare Before Christmas shot the Christmas scenes to show to Disney first.
I didn't know that.
So this is what the whole film is like.
What? Yes. We love the elves. Yeah. Yes.
They were just like...
it's all stop motion. Yeah, but that's what all stop motion.
It's literally... I'm just imagining the crew being like...
we can market
it's like an Ocean's 11 montage. Where it's like the bongos coming, it's like it's just like what we're gonna do is we're gonna assemble a crack squad of animators. Danny Elfman, Caroline Thompson as scriptwriter.
Kind to meet you and like
Trish Sarandon, kid's favourite.
Son of a bitch, I'm in.
So Danny Elfman with the lollipop.
He's got the lollipop. I was picturing with the lollipop.
For some reason, there's a bit where Danny Elfman, Tim Burton, and the screenwriter, not the cokehead one, Danny Elfman's girlfriend, are watching whoever's present at Walt Disney give a speech. And while
they're all there in sunglasses.
While the building is blown up, they just keep looking at it.
I'm imagining them doing this heist. It's like, what's the plan? It's like, we're gonna dupe Walt Disney. Son of a
bitch, I'm in.
We're gonna dupe Walt Disney for $12 million.
That's why Tim Burton didn't direct it. He was too busy like being caught and like beaten up as like a diversion.
On the Batman Returns set.
Danny DeVito had enough.
Jesus. But yeah, I they weren't under the impression, obviously, that it would all be like this. But if I were, again, I probably would have done that. If I was the producer, I'd be like, right, we make the Walt Disney shit first. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The parts of the movie that would get the executives like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
But the introduction of Jack going to Christmas Town I want to, I'm still exactly the same as I was before. I love where he goes into Christmas Town. I want to know what's behind the other doors.
Yeah.
Easter and
Why is there never?
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but
No, I want to know what's behind St. Patrick's Day door.
Oh,
with
that's
the fucking clover.
a lot of fun.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to know where.
Just step out into
that's
Boston.
going on, yeah?
Just literally just Boston.
It's just the dropkick, like as soon as you go through, it's da-na-na-na. Come on, St. Patrick's Day, it's wicked hard.
The fucking Easter Bunny's absolutely fucked off his face. You know?
I love though when they kidnap him by accident.
Yeah, that
It's
wasn't
the way,
even in the script.
He's the way he's
Really?
like, I'm sorry, sir. Like, he's told them to go kidnap, but
Yeah.
then when you've been like, I'm sorry, sir. Apologize again and bring him back. Make sure he gets safety. And remember when you get Santa Claus, like look after him. They're like, okay, sack.
Do you think?
No, he jumps back in it. He jumps back.
No,
in
I mean when they get Santa, they're totally nice and they still sack him.
Yeah. Well, the Easter Bunny thing again. That wasn't in the script, and apparently the script writer was like, "What are you doing to my script?" You know, they were just like, "Well, it's like we're the ones where it takes the effort."
Yeah.
You know, and if it's not in Disney's plan or they don't like it, then we cut it. You know.
Yeah.
And then they were just like, "Oh, we can do this, and it will take like 2 days or 3 days." So you know, it's just a nice visual gag. You know. And you know, it's a good part of the film. It's quite funny, you know.
Love it. Well, I think as a kid, I remember being like, "Oh yeah, go back to Easterland."
Yeah,
yeah.
Thanksgiving Land, I'm assuming, is just like sort of giant turkeys and also like just sort of the betrayal of the Native American people.
You just
Genocide Land.
Yeah, it's literally just like Plymouth Rock. I don't know much about American history in that period, but you know, I know enough. So it's
Hey, look, I've seen
not going to be as horrific as Halloween Town, but it's going to be quite.
I've seen Adam's Family Values. I feel like I know what went on.
it's kind of closer to our history anyway.
But yeah, again, I must say Disney have surprised me with their restraint on making sequels to this.
Yeah,
where they go to the other lands.
Mate, you've said this, and then tomorrow it's going to be announced there's going to be a prequel series.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Don't do it.
Honestly, if I hear that that's like, oh, there's going to be a Disney Plus series, because everything gets a Disney Plus series.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm in line to get one. I don't know what universe it's going to be. I don't know whether it's going to be Marvel. I don't know whether it's going to be Star Wars. It's going to be fucking boring. But it's going to be I'm going to get a Disney Plus series.
Disney Plus series.
No, not even 2 reels. Just me.
One reel.
Liam Reedy.
Not even. I'm going to push to get you guys in. But honestly, they're probably saving you for like 2030. Your own show.
They introduce us in the show.
Yeah,
and then
that's exactly.
See how we register and then see if we get the show.
See if they get the metrics, and we're just like, oh, they'll just be.
I reckon
another series.
I reckon they'll tease us towards the end of the first series. Very much like
Swerve. It was Mephisto all along. It wasn't Joe. It wasn't Sam. It was fucking I don't know.
Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, I was gonna say
maybe
it's
it'll
an
be
obscure Marvel. Who's an obscure Star Wars character we could have? I don't know. Fucking
what's his name? Grim
Yaddle. You know Yoda's
the female Yoda.
Yeah,
they never
Yaddle.
explain.
Coming 2031. Yaddle.
What's the lizard monkey's name?
The lizard.
Yeah, you know, Jabba's little mate.
What do you call him? Salacious Crumb.
Yeah.
Salacious Crumb.
So that my one appearance.
Salacious B Crumb.
Salacious A Crumb is my father.
Yeah.
Mr. Crumb is my father. Yeah, that would be my one appearance in the Liam Reedy prequel series.
Oh, nice, yeah.
They'd like post credits. I turn up and be like, "Hey guys," and then and I get attacked by Salacious B Crumb, very much like C-3PO, and it's like Salacious B Crumb coming to soon.
Disney Plus 2035. But yeah, no, I mean, their restraint on not making loads of sequels in a time where they were doing straight to video sequels.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I think? What probably might have saved it. I mean, I don't know how it did financially. I'm assuming
It did not do great.
Well, that would be
So
it.
that would be it, yeah.
Also,
Yeah, but that's what happens when things don't do great at Disney. They obviously see that like people did actually watch it.
Yeah.
Like, not tons of people, not as many as they'd like, but. I feel like they then just go straight on to home market.
Well, that's the thing though. Like their old business plan was like Lion King, right? Imagine Lion King now. The idea of I mean, I know we're in a weird time where things are being released straight to streaming with theatrical releases, but like, okay, take that back like a few years. where you'd still have to wait before it was out on streaming and DVD, right? The idea of a film as big as Lion King having a sequel that you just like plop out, like put it straight. Aladdin, Little Mermaid, they did it.
Jeez.
Like that's their old, and it was Toy Story 2 that was the turning point where they were like, yeah, we want to do a straight to DVD sequel. They were like, look, if we do a
Costs
sequel,
so much money.
yeah, and that's the thing. I think even if it had been bigger, I think maybe stop motion saved it from that fate because that's such an arduous. Yeah.
All of that effort for you to just go straight to VHS would have been. I'd be working on it. I'd be like, fucked with this.
To be fair, it takes so long. Maybe they're still working on it.
Maybe we've got this all wrong. Like, maybe there is a planned Avatar release schedule of like 18 Nightmare After Christmas Christmases.
The Nightmare during Lent.
Christmases.
The Christmases, Nightmare Before Christmases.
I like Christmas Eye.
Yeah,
I don't know if that is right, but I'm going to go with it.
Yeah, so there's probably maybe there is a couple in production. You know, we just don't know about it. It probably still says Tim Burton's across it. Hasn't been attached to it since 1996. You know, so
it's an annoying title.
That would be terrible.
What, the sequels?
Yeah, I don't. Obviously, I can't say. Oh yeah, if they had any idea, it'd just be awful.
Yeah,
but I like the fact that there's only
one and done.
Yeah, I feel like it having a finite, you know. And it didn't like set up for a sequel, even though you had the other doors.
I mean, there's definitely people that would be like, "What would like them starting a family be like?"
Yeah.
And I don't want to know about. I don't want to know about that fan fiction.
No.
Keep that to your fucking.
I mean, I can
dark
get,
web forums.
I can get the subreddit up if you.
No thanks. Oh no, but yeah, I'm glad that it's a contained story,
100%,
and it's very unlike Disney to do such.
I think they've just made up for it in like the merch. Like there's a lot of lots of
making.
It's not like a thing over here, but I always hear reference to like Hot Topic, which is like a popular. I don't know if that's over here in England, but in America it's like a popular chain.
Yeah.
And it's like
you hear about it all the time.
It seems to be like one of them things where it's like mainstream alternative stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like
mainstream edgelord.
Yeah. So it's sort of stuff that like appeals to like someone who's a bit like sort of like like goth or whatever, but like it's a massive franchise.
No, I am quirky. I just wear things that are like made by the millions.
I don't
and sold for reasonable prices.
I don't want to conform to the norm, so I'm going to conform to this other norm.
Yeah. I'm wearing this hoodie. When we were at school, when to age us, it would have been like the kids that were like, yeah, you probably haven't heard of my favourite band. They're called My Chemical Romance. I didn't. Miss You by Blink-182.
Yeah.
Yes.
When he says like we can live and Jack and Sally, that's Jack and Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. Weird, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah, because they don't live. Well, you don't know. Like at the end, it's like they're sort of on a hill.
Yeah.
And we're like,
on a hill.
Yeah.
After going through,
after killing the boogeyman.
Yeah.
My God, that was a horrible death.
Oh yeah.
Like, as a kid as well, I'd just be like, oh, he's made of bugs. Whereas like now, I was just like. He's made of bugs.
Yeah. Also,
they're all screaming.
Also, there's one bit that gets very overlooked. He's a cannibal because he's a bug in a cage.
Yeah.
So that's all right. No, it's only a Disney film. Don't worry. It's only about cannibalism.
Yeah.
It's only when I get to 30 years of age that I'm just like, wow, some of these things really did slip under the radar, didn't they?
Like, I don't want to take it back to wrestling, right? However, I will.
Yeah.
Like as a kid. Right, I just accepted like, wow, mankind fell off the cage through the table. That's so cool. Then he falls through the cage, and like, the older I've gotten, when I watch that, the more horrible it is because I think you just know more about the
anatomy.
And so every time I watch it now, I'm like, oh my God. And it's
getting sweaty palms, not knowing what's going to happen, even though you've seen it like 100 times.
Yeah, and like it's that thing of like now where
vibes.
it's just because you know just more about you just understand things better. It's sort of like
he's
a cannibal.
I used to just not hate it, but obviously when it came out, I was probably 3?
What, Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah. I really only first saw it when I went to. I think I went to you'd go to like not a summer camp, but you'd go somewhere because your parents are still working.
No, that was just you.
Oh, just like
they sent you to,
during the summer holidays, like send him to
They were all
Borstal.
No, I just went to
Summer Club.
Yeah, I just went to
They were all actors.
I just went to the leisure centre where it's just like you just do
like
swimming and like tennis.
I mean, Summer Club.
This sounds like really fucking upmarket with the way I'm saying. Like, swimming and tennis. And like,
swimming, tennis. You
all
know,
right, most of the rackets were broken, but
swimming, tennis, get a massage, have a steam. Get some break from her indoors.
But
you know what I'm saying?
One of the activities was just like in the morning was just like, I can't believe my parents paid for this, but like just plonking a child in front of a TV and just like putting whatever VHS they got on.
Like,
was this run by Mr. Black from the Camp Krusty episodes?
It's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock like, in the morning. It's just like what are we doing? What are we doing with the kids this morning? Like,
it genuinely was. It was 9
what
o'clock when I came in, and they were just like putting on a video, and I was just like, "What is this?"
Just put a video on.
And they were just the other kids there were just like, "Nightmare Before Christmas." Have you seen it? I'm just like, "Nightmare Before Christmas."
guys, it's summer.
Yeah, I thought that, but I was more just like, "This is a Christmas film that I haven't seen," and I was just like, obviously blown away.
Yeah.
I think I was 5 at this point,
right?
So.
And it was the only Christmas film you hadn't seen. That's very impressive.
No, like of the videos that like your parents would, of Christmas
Home
films
Alone.
that your parents would have at that time.
Die
Things
Hard.
like that. Yeah.
Star Wars?
No.
So,
unless you mean the Christmas special where
No.
you meet Chewbacca's son Lumpy.
I've
or
been
whatever.
watching Star Wars a lot at Christmas, but I think it's because that's when I see my cousin.
Christmas is a Star Wars film in the fact that I got it for Christmas.
Right,
That's probably the only
I used to
way.
watch it a lot.
I mean, it's never a bad time to whack it on.
No, it's never. No, of course.
But
it's not
this isn't a
Christmas
Christmas film either, so really,
no, it's not.
it's a Halloween film,
It
which I only realised
It's
after. Yeah, no, it is.
No, I'm agreeing with a Halloween film.
Yeah,
that's good for you.
2-1. So
2-1. Yeah.
It's not.
Also, I want to talk about.
Oh, this is why there's 3 of us, just so you can have a ruling.
It's like opinion.
Yeah.
Opinion. I can't just change my opinion.
Twiddling my mustache whilst I laugh.
No, Sam, you don't have opinion. You've been outvoted.
I want to just talk about going back to.
You robbed me of enough opinions. Can you not let me have this one?
Going back to Oogie Boogie.
Right. Oh, great character.
Who lives in a seedy 50s Las Vegas UV basement.
Yeah.
Don't know how he got all of it.
Yeah.
Probably there's another tree that is literally just like a dice, and he just like went through that once, and he's just like addicted to games. He's got that personality where he's just like addicted to like dice games. I know he obviously just plays that because he loves a snake eyes. The guy's literally got a snake eye fetish.
Just wants to put it on red.
Snake eyes.
Oh yeah, all right, but he loves dice.
He loves dice.
He's a dice guy.
Yeah.
Look, he never heard the Kenny. They don't have like country music in Halloween Town.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah,
But, he's never heard Kenny Rogers the Gambler. He's never learned know when to fold him.
And ironically, despite it being the Devil's game, there's no Dungeons and Dragons in Halloween Town.
What?
Twice.
What's that got to do with anything?
He rolls the
Yeah,
dice.
all right. Wow, terrible.
No, he's a DM, isn't he?
He is a dungeon master in the literal sense.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
His
He went through
song.
Vegas Tree.
His song is
Awesome.
fucking quality.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
good.
that.
Very good.
Yeah.
I love, who's that actor? Do we know who that actor is?
I looked it up. He's in like a lot of musical theatre.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Apparently, he originated one of the roles in Cats. So.
Okay.
Been through a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
Been through a lot to just say.
A special kind of person originates a role in Cats. Like, not going and playing established one. You originated a role.
Imagine, like, I mean,
Have you seen Kimmy Schmidt?
Is it
Yes,
Ken,
I have,
is it
yeah.
Ken Page?
That-
Ken Page, isn't it?
Yes. Well, it's amazing bad like that voice.
It's so iconic.
cool,
like,
yeah.
But it's so. So this is one thing about this movie, and I was going to say it when you were talking about the Easter Bunny moments like that. There is absolutely a place for that sort of thing because this is just a movie made of moments. It's literally just it's a story. There is an ongoing story, but it's just stop motion moments, isn't it? It's like, oh, this would be good. That's a gag, and it's a load of gags and moments and things put together, and then obviously there's the scenes and song stuff as well. That absolutely a place for things like that, like thing. And this is a perfect example of it because suddenly it's just like, oh, this character. And there's for some reason him and Jack don't get along.
Yeah.
And he's a villain, but
Yeah.
they're in Halloween Town, so how are you a villain?
Well,
And it
like,
doesn't seem
because
too bad.
but to be fair, like I feel like Oogie Boogie is just more aware. Like, he's got more self awareness than Jack, which I think makes him antagonist. Because Jack is kind of benevolent, but he only has the understanding of someone from Halloween Town. So
Yeah,
like, you know,
yeah,
he's doing
yeah.
the experiments on the Christmas stuff. Like, what does it mean? Like, he's
does it
cutting
mean?
open the
Yes.
teddy. I feel like Oogie Boogieman understands the world and is like doing that stuff from a
Sadistic.
And I mean, the people in Halloween Town, except for the aforementioned like vampires, when they get an award for
I was gonna say,
most
like-
blood extracted,
So,
I feel like all the rest is just kind of like playfulness.
Yeah.
I don't think there's like any. There's no malevolence to a lot of what they do there,
No.
other
I mean,
than just like scary.
the song where he's trying to explain Christmas to them, it gets pretty malevolent there. Where they're like, oh, and I get it, and this thing jumps out at them, and like, no, you're not understanding, and that kind of thing. And like,
I guess so,
but
but
then the description of Santa Claus, that bit where he goes, let's give them what they want, and he goes into the description, is such a cool little twist.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they are quite. It's weird. It's like innocent malevolence, sort of thing like that. It's like it's their cliche. What's bad? Because he's trying to explain this really joy and jolly, and they're like, it's very Addams Family, where they're using like
Yeah.
oh,
the
perfect.
opposites
Yeah,
as a
absolutely.
sort of thing like that. But obviously, it's probably a bit of an influence anyway. But
Actually, yeah, it would have been, wouldn't it? I mean, I'm just thinking of like the art style and everything.
yeah, I would have thought. Which
sorry,
came
just
first? Yeah,
it would have been Adam's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Adam's Family came before this, but I imagine stop motion takes so long.
yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
But like, but if you look actually thinking about it, if you look at the old Adam Family cartoon strips,
Yeah.
it's
Very,
very,
this. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm pretty sure Jack and Gomez are wearing the same suit
Oh really?
because it's very black and white, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, no, they're not wearing the same suit.
Oh right,
But they're both. It's a very similar patterned white and black
right,
striped
yeah,
suit.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because I know he's purple and all that, but it's the old comics are very like they're black and white.
yeah. And just like the character
Very
design
gothic.
is like if you
It's gothic art. That's what it is. Yeah, but yeah, like it's just a brilliant film. But yeah, I just even to this day, I remember as a kid being like, so they don't get along. Really like to know why.
Yeah.
I think at the time, because I think at the time I was like, oh, he's the boogeyman. That's why. Just because I knew boogeyman was like,
Big Man's bad.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Um,
so is the Pumpkin King.
never heard that term outside of this film. I don't
I've
think.
heard the Pumpkin King, but this is the most. This is where I think I feel like I've heard it from this as a kid and then noticed it other like places. It's never been a big
Right. I think
you
I
know,
would just be
it's
like,
not like
Pumpkin King, Jack Skellington,
Pumpkin
cool
King.
guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Pumpkin King's not up there with like vampires or werewolves, shit like that. Anything. The Pumpkin King will get you. It's like, oh okay, but the Boogeyman.
It's not an urban myth that
No.
like
I'm
overly for.
exactly.
I feel like they did just make it up for this film.
I reckon
think
it
it's,
is.
I don't think it's an urban legend that we're just missing out on.
Yeah, I reckon they made it up.
Yeah.
Maybe
even in his
maybe
song.
maybe if you listen,
Pumpkin's a Halloween thing.
Even
Why
his-
wouldn't he be the king? He's the main character.
in his
Yeah.
song,
Done.
as well, and in his song,
It's not that hard.
And in his song, he has many names.
Pumpkins, he's like the main guy.
It's got to be a king.
He's really good at what he does. He's almost the something of
Pumpkin
it.
expert.
Pumpkin
Extraordinaire! Like as a kid, I was always like weirded out by him going into the like. I thought it was like acid,
Yeah,
but I think
the
it's
fountain.
yeah.
I think. I mean, it might be acid.
But like, because
It's
I'm
all green.
yeah, but I remember thinking like, oh, he like burns himself, and that's why it's a skeleton. Maybe this was more in my teens, and I was like, oh, Nightmare Before
Yeah, that's
Christmas
what I thought
is actually
happened,
kind of edgy. Bit of an
When I
edgelord.
was a kid, I thought they were making Jack.
Yeah, no, but I think that he's just wearing a costume.
It's all
Yeah.
staged.
It just burns
it's
the
him
costume
it's just
off.
Yeah,
staged.
yeah.
he's
Maybe
just-
it is acid. Burns the costume off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because he's
it's-
on fire when he goes in.
Oh, yes, he is, isn't
yeah.
he? God, it's good.
Jack.
We've spent so long
Pumpkin
talking about the
King.
opening
I know.
because it's so good.
It's all right.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
With this, we could just jump about. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I know. Oh God, what's the people in
Too real.
the
Serious
people in,
podcast.
what are the people in head office gonna say?
Serious people.
People are gonna. I'm gonna have a long phone call on Monday morning from HR about this. Yeah.
I've just got someone in my ear.
God damn it, Liam, you gotta play by the rules. So I think like the thing that I always just instantly think of about this film is the montage of him delivering presents.
Yeah.
Just so good.
Yeah.
The first bit, just I forgot the actual like there's dialogue and stuff with the kids like Santa, and he's like the most sort of innocent like looking child, and just his parents being like, what did he get you? And like just pulls out the like shrunken voodoo head from it. So good. And just like I think one of the best shot for me in the whole film is it cuts to like this anaconda eating the Christmas tree, and this kid whose like hair is like gone up straight out of fear. He's just like screaming. It's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is great. That was a great scene. I feel like the question on whether it was supposed to be a children's film or not is answered by the fact that you don't see the faces of any adults, and it's so that the kids can relate to just the children.
Yeah.
It's
because kids rule.
Just answer that for you, Disney.
And it is
don't know why your marketing took.
It is.
Don't know why you were questioning, what marketing route to go down.
Although, to be fair,
when someone could have literally just
they're
said
very
one
very
sentence.
kid-dominated holidays, both of them. Childlike dominated holidays. So.
Well, adults have St. Patrick's Day, and
well, they did.
That's why we didn't get to see that land.
I feel like our generation has very much gone like, well, we don't want to stop celebrating it, so we're going to carry on doing it.
Oh yeah, but we live in a we're one of the first generations that's constantly told how terrible the world is. So we're just like child forever.
On to the joy.
I'm not too old for Star Wars.
I need it
because the forests are burning.
Of course I'm 28 and only just rediscovered wrestling. Why would I not? I wasn't even that into it as a child. I didn't need it then.
However, what I will say, I do agree, and I'm sure it's legit, but just to play a bit of devil's advocate, a bit of Disney's advocate, when they first...
What a fucking great game that would be.
One of his other names, Using one of his other names.
Disney's advocate just being like, I don't know, wouldn't a monopoly on the entertainment industry be kind of cool? When it first shows the fake, there's cuts to the police station, and the cop's face is blurred. It's not blurred; it's obscured by the by a sign saying police. I remember thinking, "Is you are right," but at the time, I just thought, saves time, innit? Can't bother to animate a non sort of distinctive
exactly
monster face.
What I would do if I was making a stop motion animation film. I'd just be like, right, so. What you don't see, you see the little details because I can move those. The really hard stuff, obscure it. Just obscure it with some sort of part of the set.
Listen, I think
it's all visual storytelling.
I mean,
I can be wrong with you.
We put a lot of detail into these sets, and I think it'd be really cool if this dialogue scene between Jack and Sally, just having behind
all silhouette.
Yeah, behind a big building.
Just hear the words.
I always loved radio plays as a kid, just really want to bring that influence to it.
I want to bring that emphasis to a moving film.
Look, my hands hurt.
What's the best song in the film?
I'm going to go with. I love the big three, but to be honest, no.
What's the big three?
Big four. I'd say this is Halloween.
Yep.
Jack's song.
Mm-hmm.
What's this?
Yeah.
And the kids taking Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah. I think for me,
my favorite. My favorite is Jack's song. Yeah, Jack's song.
There's that one where she sings about being concerned about him or loving him, and I really like that just because I think I just didn't really remember Sally very well. And as you say, she's not important to the plot at all. No. But I just found something it's just really affecting.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And
she has a place in the film.
Yeah, and also I didn't really realise that. Oh, I didn't remember anyway. Her whole thing is sort of being like, "Oh, you're really cool," and him being like, "I'm oblivious to your affection." And normally that's the most.
I've got something really important to do.
In live action, I find that trope the most irritating thing in the world. But it just works in this bizarre world.
Yeah. Anything would.
Yeah.
Like a man who gives half a brain to someone he's genuinely going to have sex with.
Yeah.
So. Kids film though, so probably didn't.
We don't know.
No, we don't know.
We know.
He just wanted a companion to talk to.
We've all been on the subreddit.
He hasn't worked downstairs for years.
Because he got rid of it in an experiment.
Making Sally.
Oh no.
He can walk, he just thought,
It'd be nice to have someone wheel me around. Yeah. It's just, I mean, just imagine that one time he's just he's sitting in a chair and he'd be like, wouldn't this be great if this was permanent?
The bit we don't see is actually this is so we don't really know how long he's had Sally, but we get an idea of its impression. A few weeks ago he was actually walking. She just points at him so many times.
Oh yeah, literally.
The wheelchair's
That's definitely
new.
canon. He's been nightshaded too much.
The wheelchair's new.
He was actually really handsome.
Yeah, it's all the wheelchair. It's all she just kept poisoning him.
Yeah, it just kept.
That's why his mouth looks a bit
poisoned him into disability.
The point of
Disney films are this Disney film's quite dark.
Honestly,
to the point of idiocy.
you ever see The Munsters?
Yeah.
He was like their niece who's normal.
Yeah.
Like he was like that. He looked like Prince Charming out of Shrek, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm going to make a companion. And then that's how many times he's poisoned him. He's just like, ah! Shadow!
To the point where he can only eat soup.
Oh, yeah, it's gross when he's eating that
It's
soup.
literally gross, isn't it?
Oh, soup. No,
that's
you're not going to poison me again.
I remember being as a kid, like one of the greatest deceptions I'd ever seen was that spoon bit, that spoon gag. I was just like, that's fucking genius. Next time she gives me shit soup, and then I never realised how to get a hole in the spoon.
Oh, that painted a Dickensian picture of your childhood.
I did actually. I'm imagining the spoon being wooden as well.
Sorry, but no, I didn't always.
Come and get your gruel!
As a kid, I've got to stand up. I actually had quite good soup most of the time. But you know when you got like the soups that are great.
How
now that
often
weren't
are you
as a
having
kid?
soup?
You have soup as a kid.
I've literally had soup like twice in my life.
What?
To be fair, I was
always had
also
soup.
exposed to a lot of soup as a kid,
Really? Yeah.
and
It's
it
cheap.
leaves a mark on your man.
It's cheap. It's cheap, Stephen. Stephen, Liam. It's cheap. It's cheap.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a source of tension in
Semi-poor,
my
as a-
family where, like,
As a semi-poor child with more than one child, it was cheap.
yeah,
Bolognese and soup.
bolognese.
Yeah, but bolognese is great.
I mean, you know,
And soup is just
if you're
every
if
night.
it's if
and
it's
soup is
alternate-
just bolognese without the good bits.
Not every night.
So like my mum, her grandkids, like my nieces and nephews, bloody love her soup. Whereas I mean, I don't think I'm really a soup guy, but it's just never really done it for me. But I can't admit that. I mean, obviously she's not going to listen to this, so like, because I can't admit that to her. Like, she will go like, "You're not really run for my soup, are you?" I was like, "I'm just not a soup guy, mum." I can't admit it. Like, I won't do it.
Trying to explain you.
Oh no, I could. I like.
And
a bit
now
of
I'm a
soup.
vegan,
I'm a
right?
soup
I
guy.
can just sort of because it's got chicken in it. It's like, well, I'm a vegan. You can't. So you can put the chicken out. You've got.
You can just you can not put
chicken out.
chicken.
That's not how it works.
If she's making it from scratch, could you just not put the chicken in? I like a bit of soup. The idea of soup bread. I don't know why we're onto soup. Let's like
Well, there's soup in the film. It's all relevant.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I've got
It's all on topic.
Head office in
head
your
office
ear.
in my ear.
Fucking hell, I'm
Stop
gonna get another
talking
call from
about
HR.
Yeah.
soup. Okay, sorry. Okay.
All right, look, one more thing on soup. Ainsley Harriott, a few years back, I don't know if they're still going,
Yeah.
but his soup range was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Just you heard it here. Little plug, Ainsley. You wanna get in on this?
I want 30 grand for that plug. So what are we giving The Nightmare Before Christmas out of 5?
Holiday trees.
No.
Too obvious.
Out of 5 kidnapped Easter bunnies.
Out of 5 crushed baubles.
Oh yeah, that's great, isn't it? Where he's like, "Shh, what does it mean?" Like,
Yeah. Out of
Something in
5.
that sciencey.
Out of 5 crushed.
No,
Holiday spirit
one better.
balls.
One better. Sorry.
5
Out of
pumpkin
5
kings.
gingerbread men, like their fetuses in a jar.
I mean, that's a
Too obscure. Okay.
well, it's a lot. It's a mouthful. It's a
Yeah.
mouthful.
Okay.
It's a bit too-
Five pumpkin kings. No, can't do it.
Out of
5 Chris Sarandons because the kids love him. Oh, sorry, just one more thing.
Go.
I'm gonna put my favourite song down as Boogie Boogie Man, just because I feel
Yeah.
like no one's else gonna vote for it, but it's so good.
Yeah, but I agree. This is my favourite. When I was watching it, I was just like, I might rewind it and watch it again.
Right.
Thinking
yeah.
about just watching the film again in general, just probably around Halloween.
Yeah.
Because it's a Halloween film. So.
Well, I'll be watching it between Halloween.
So you're gonna do
every day in November. Oh, just watching my favourite November film.
Follow, subscribe to my story.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that as if it was.
Right, we're gonna do it out of 5 cannibalistic sacks of bugs.
Cool.
Nice.
I
like that.
AKA out of 5 Oogie Boogies. So
Oh, hang on, wait a minute. Cannibalistic. CBOS. Kubos.
Joe, what do you give The Nightmare Before Christmas out of 5 cannibalistic sacks of bugs, aka Oogie Boogie?
Oh, that's a mouthful.
I'm just gonna say Oogie Boogies.
I'm gonna give it 4.5 Oogie Boogies.
4.5 Oogie Boogies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
Because I forgot how I mean, apparently there's a short film called Sandman which should sue. I've had no exposure to this.
Yeah.
It's joyous and it's quite unique. I feel like there's some sort of flaw story-wise, but it's just like what Sam was saying. It's a film of just great moments.
Yeah.
It's just moments,
And it's just such a funny concept as well. Just like I didn't give enough credit earlier. You know, we were talking about when he's delivering the presents, when they start shooting at him, and he's like, they're celebrating, like it's like they're firing fireworks. Like doesn't get it, and it's like why I love the Addams Family films, which are well worth a rewatch. Just that whole thing of like bad is good to them.
Yeah,
I really
the
love
sheer
it.
obliviousness.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it, and just like all the weird residents of the town, and like it's so fun. So I feel maybe 4.5 is too much, but no less than 4 Oogie Boogies.
No.
So I'll tell you what, I'll go 4, but in my heart 4.5.
Nice.
4.5.
I'll go 4.
Always go with your heart, Joe.
No.
They're 2 reels. We're very much the reels are our hearts.
Well, I'll just agree with
The
whatever.
wheels are our hearts. Speak for yourself.
I've
got a heart.
And the wheel is my cold mind. I mean, I guess because when you two on the show, when you're on the show, Sam, I feel like you're the heart and like Liam is the mind,
Nice.
And so I've come in as like the
balls.
I think like the lukewarm water to your ice and fire, to quote Spinal Tap.
The sphincter.
Actually, I've just come in as a guy who will agree with Liam.
The nipple.
And now the real reason you were invited has revealed itself. I'm joking. Sam, what are you gonna give it out of 5 Oogie Boogies?
I'm gonna go with Joe. I'm gonna say 4.5. 4. I'll go 4. Again, where I'm trying to when I rate these movies, try and incorporate all movies that I've seen, because I think I would give that. So once
That's
by the
the
time I've
hardest
done
bit.
that, it's
because you might accidentally give a
film like a Marvel not so great movie a 3.5 when you realise Matrix is 4.
It's comparing it to and like you said, Sam,
Wait, did you give it a 3.5?
Yeah.
That's
what?
really out of 5.
Shang-Chi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's massively generous.
Yeah.
Actually, to be fair, I
I'm
remember
not very
listening to
good
it now.
out of 5.
We can't go back on it. Though.
I'm good out of 10.
Can't start
5.
rewriting history like Walt Disney does.
No.
But...
No retcon. We don't retcon here at Two Dudes.
Yeah,
We embrace our history.
it's canon. In other adaptations, like based on that, you know how Scott, what's his name, Hank Pym in Marvel, he like under mind control slapped the Wasp once, and now he's like defined as being like in many people's minds as like being a wife beater. In like if another creative team comes in and like starts adapting 2 reels, Sam will just be defined as that guy who always bloody loves Shang-Chi. He's always banging on about it.
It was my favourite. It was my favourite. Like,
actually, just
your biggest crime so far.
Thinking about that episode, right? Just listen to it. I agreed with all the points. Sucks, but nice cast, right?
Yeah.
And then just got to the ratings. You're like, terrible film, 3.5.
I don't know. Yeah, it makes no sense to me now. I know. I've set my boundaries now. I know. But as a 3 is like we were saying like last week. It's very much a popcorn thing. It does what it needs to do. You enjoy it.
Solid.
Doesn't go beyond. Doesn't go below. This one goes beyond. So I'm going to go 4. I'll say 4.
Yeah.
But there are.
That's fair. I think the only reason I'm dropping that 0.5 back to 4 is what you say about like Sally. Not you could take her out of it and the story wouldn't change other than like the nice bit of them coming together at the end. Even though she contributes a lot of great moments.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I realised I've never mentioned the visuals of like the stuff that is presumably animated over the stop motion. Like his dog, who he didn't mention.
Zero.
I love that bit where he just whistles as he walks past a grave, and he appears, and he's.
Is that a different? Is that a different animation then? Or is it? It's still stop motion.
Oh, was it? I thought it was like a.
He's like faded. He's like faded out.
Yeah, but they've just done stop motion separately and just fucking changed the opacity on the film. Yeah.
I mean, don't say it like that. Like,
No.
You're sort of like, Jesus Christ, you fucking idiot.
Sorry.
That's more impressive. Who does that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I'm the mind.
I own your mistakes. He's
the
done.
mind.
Do you know what? I'm being such a hypocritical dickhead because I know if you'd have done that to Sam, I'd be like, yeah, Liam.
He's the mind. He's also the fist.
No, it's stop motion animation. I just feel like they filmed it separately, and then they obviously just like they just edited it in, and then just had it at like the opacity at like like 70% or something.
Right,
so you can see through him. But
love it.
But
so
yeah,
I don't think there's
cool.
much. There's obviously at the beginning. There's like, and in some other bits, you know, like when he's in the real world as well. So like shadows and like silhouettes. They're all. I reckon they're all done digitally, or they filmed something, you know, rather than stop motion. But then other than that, there's I'd say majority is stop motion. There isn't too much done digitally.
I mean,
definitely not too much done digitally.
It's the whole film looks beautiful as well.
Yeah.
And once again, like just
It's a
nothing
piece
like
of
it.
art. I mean, all film is, but it's very much an art piece.
Not Shang-Chi.
Definitely not 3.5. So I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. So
I think 4. Yeah.
Put them all together, 12.
That's how it works.
It's like a Strictly score. We're not doing averages anymore. We're just like, no, it's a 12. Yeah, it's a great film, and it just the rewatchability of it is high. Because I'm still thinking about watching it again before Halloween.
Yeah,
I definitely don't rush to watch many films immediately for a second viewing.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it's like as far as I'm aware, it's like it's the only film I'm aware of where you just have that experience. Because nothing like I know like Coraline and that I don't know if I don't even think there's songs in Coraline, and like you know it's like there's nothing this sort of like weird and joyful.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
it's whimsical.
It has to be.
It's whimsical. It's spooky.
Yeah.
But it's like you said. It's that fun, spooky.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that's made nowadays that is in a similar vein is just like that's just bloody depressing.
Yeah,
like, even if it's got fun aspects, in the end you'll just be like, bit sad though. Whereas this one's just like,
and maybe Adam's Family.
yes,
yeah.
good
Kind of
companion.
Hits that mark. They are very good. Yeah, they do go hand in hand. I don't want to see the one where they cross over. Don't do that.
No, don't.
But like, yeah, but
well,
yeah.
they're
Why did you say it out loud, Sam? It might happen.
No. Disney Plus 2022, Adam's Family meets Nightmare Before Christmas.
It's okay, as long as they don't have the rights to Adam's Family, we'll be fine. It's all going to be. Oh God!
This time, Adam's going to get visited by cousin Jack.
Oh no.
How's the marriage going, cousin Jack? It was brilliant. It was great. It wasn't enough.
Until everything all fell apart at the seams.